we are joined by some of our colleagues from financial aid. And so this is our chance to really talk about that. And so, Elizabeth, could you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your role?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, my name is Elizabeth Yamas. I am the Associate Director of Financial Aid here at the GSB. Very excited to be joining you this morning. So I work with all students, veterans, everyone to help them through the financial aid process and then also support you while you're a student with the GSB.
Cool. So can you tell us a little bit about what's financial aid like at the GSB? What's the process?
Sure. So for, most students, we've built a system around three guiding principles that we want to instill in our process: excellence, access, and fairness. And so when we talk about financial aid, we do have a combination in general of fellowship and loans. And we're looking at a student's income and assets, which is, if you've been through a financial aid process before, which some of you may have, this is probably very similar, something that you're familiar with. We have, as far as the process goes, we have our own financial aid portal for our students. So it's a one-stop shop portal for you that's customized to your situation. And it's a great tool for our students to connect with our office, but also to submit everything to us very securely. So very excited about it.
Cool. And then knowing our audience today, can you tell us a little bit more about opportunities for veterans, and especially maybe can you touch on the Yellow Ribbon program, please?
Definitely. That's probably Chapter 33, post 9/11 Yellow Ribbon is definitely one of the most common VA benefits that we have at the GSB. And so for those who are maybe looking to use their Yellow Ribbon benefits for the first time, essentially once you're eligible and you receive your certificate of eligibility, you'll have 36 months. Our program is built around a 9-month financial aid budget. So you'll be using about 18 months for the 2 years of your benefit. And Stanford is committed to supporting our Yellow Ribbon veterans as much as possible. So our match with the VA funding will cover up to your tuition. So that's a really great thing for our veterans, that they don't have to worry about the tuition costs. For those who maybe are not Yellow Ribbon eligible, we still have, like I said, other methods of financial aid to help support you as well.
Cool. And then what about folks who might be interested in like the nonprofit or government sectors?
Yeah, so yeah, we have and I think I know where you're going with this. We have a really awesome loan forgiveness program if you do find that you need to borrow loans to help supplement your educational costs. And so that's for students who are looking to go back into a government sector or possibly into the nonprofit sector. This program has been around at the GSB for a very long time, so over 10 years. It's a well-established program. It is our own. It's completely independent from the government's loan forgiveness program. And if you do enter into one of these sectors, essentially, we will help you, assist you repay your loan balances as an alumni. So it's a really great opportunity for those who are thinking about going back into the nonprofit or public sector.
Cool. And then as I'm thinking about financial aid and like being a prospect or applicant, like, do you have any like tips, best practices, things that we should be keeping in the back of our mind as we're going through the journey?
Definitely. So Stanford's has their own veterans department. I'm not sure if you've already touched on that in the presentation. Okay, good. So we work hand in hand with Omak. So it's really important, as you start to get this information, that you're not only in communication with us, but we will also assist you with the communication with Omak and come together. The earlier you can get your documentation ready, the better. So that's going through whatever VA process that you need to, especially getting that certificate of eligibility eligibility. And so if you need assistance as far as like the next steps, we definitely ask that you reach out to us or to the Omak, our colleagues at the Omak, to assist you with that process. But other than that, we're here to support you. So if you're admitted, we will walk you through the necessary steps to apply for financial aid.
Cool. So the OMAC that we referred to a couple of times is the Office for Military Affiliated Communities at Stanford
Yes.
University. And this is not just a GSB organization, but one that helps support our veterans across our whole community, both the undergrads and the different grad departments. So once again, OMAC is the Office for Military Affiliated Communities.
Yes.
Great. And then let's say I'm an admitted student, is there any way to kind of understand like what I could be getting as a financial aid package?
Yeah, so once you're admitted, we do have a calculator tool, which we encourage all students to use to get a better understanding of what they may qualify for before they begin the financial aid process. So that will be available to you as an admitted student.
Cool. And then one other thing, knowing that kind of from experience, like what about families? Like oftentimes we think about, hey, I'm applying to business school as like an individual, but for many of our applicants, there's either a significant other or there's children who are going to be participating in this journey. Like how does that factor into financial aid?
Yeah, so our cost of attendance, which is essentially the budget for the program, is built around your circumstances. So if you're single or if you're married, and if you're married, if you're bringing any children or dependents with you to the GSB. So, of course, those costs may increase for you. For our yellow ribbon recipients, you are eligible for a housing allowance on top of the tuition payment. So you would be receiving that monthly as well to help offset those costs.
Cool. Thank you. Just covered a lot of ground in actually a really impressive amount of time. Are there any other things that from you, like having sat in your seat for so long, any other words of wisdom or things that you would love to share with the group?
Yeah, I mean, it can be scary approaching financial aid in general, or for some people find it kind of stressful. The people in our office, my colleagues and myself, we've been doing this for a very long time. And I've also been a certifying official for the VA, so I know what you need to go through to get your benefit. And so my tip to everyone is just to start conversations as early as possible with our office. We're here to assist you, and we would love to help you walk through this process and make sure that you feel secure about your package and how you're going to afford the GSB.
Nice. All right. So those were my questions. If you can't tell, there's a lot of joy in our office, and
Yes.
we are going to extend that joy to the group. We're going to open it up right now. Are there any general financial aid questions or funding questions that folks in the audience might have? So feel free to pop those into the Q&A box, and let's really make the most of our time with one of our financial aid experts. Again, my hands are pointing in this direction because that's where her window is in my screen. I don't know where Elizabeth might be on your screen, so that might be strange. But this is the time to ask. Let's see if we have questions here. Here's a question from Christoph. When is the deposit for the program typically due? Assuming like you're admitted, when do you have to make that deposit?
Yeah, so the deposit is due, and we'll jump in if I believe the deposit is due by the time that you accept your admissions offer. Is that correct?
Mm.
Right. So it's due upfront as just for once you're admitted, you'll have time to receive your financial aid award, really weigh your options, and then commit to the program and accept your offer. And that's when your deposit is due. I will say for the VA, with the VA benefits, the one thing that is not covered, if you're post 9/11 eligible, is a deposit for a program, but you're still fully covered for your tuition. And the deposit will go to offset other costs of the university.
Great. All right, here's a question about dual degree students.
Yeah.
How's the GI Bill and the yellow ribbon benefits applied towards dual degree programs?
Yeah, so essentially with a dual degree program, you're looking at a little bit, most likely a little bit longer than an 18-month program, which is normal for an MBA student. So depending on the dual degree that you're admitted to, it could be, 24 months, et cetera. As long as you're, enrolled in an educational program, that your VA benefits will continue to support your education. And so, like I had mentioned, once you're eligible for yellow ribbon, you usually have, if you have not used it before, 36 months of benefits. So that's quite a bit of time. And we're only using about 18. So if your enrollment extends past that 18 months, then you'll have continued eligibility.
Great, thank you. Here's a really important question from
Sure.
Carolyn. If you do not qualify for Yellow Ribbon due to
Yes.
partial GI Bill, are there other
Yes.
financial aid programs or scholarships that you recommend? Like what's that experience?
Yeah. So if you're not eligible for a VA chapter that covers your full tuition, then we encourage you to apply for our need-based fellowship program, which is what I talked about a little bit in the beginning, where we look at your income and assets, and you go through the process like a normal student, and that, if you are eligible for fellowship, that can help offset those additional costs that are not covered by the VA. Additionally, we do have some resources that you will have access to for external scholarships, and we definitely encourage all of our students to look for additional opportunities outside of our office, and we're also here to help you with those opportunities. So we have a general list for you to work off of, but there could be more opportunities in that for you.
Yeah, and Elizabeth, correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
last year, wasn't the average financial aid package around $40,000 per year per
Yep.
student?
Yep. It was around $40,000 for our students, and that's per year. So it's, that can definitely help supplement, what the VA is giving you towards the tuition.
Great. Here's the question. So the application process, we're need blind in applications. So that means that how you're going to finance your time at the GSB has no impact on the final decision. So our need-based process, or our financial aid process, is need-based. Okay, so
Correct.
the separation there. For the applications, there's 3 rounds. So round 1, round 2, round 3. Is there a difference in financial aid funding among the 3 rounds?
There's definitely not. We've committed that whatever round that you're admitted to the GSB in, you will have the same opportunity for financial aid as those in round 1 and 2 versus 3, or any combination of those. So same opportunity, any round that you apply for, you're admitted, you still have the financial aid opportunities as everyone else.
Great. And here's one a little bit about housing. So
Sure.
knowing that this
Yeah.
um,
That's broad.
financial aid covers a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
Is the
Yes.
housing stipend you mentioned with Yellow
Yeah.
Ribbon different than or in addition to the housing allowance received while using the GI Bill? And do you happen to know?
No, it's the same. So it's the BAH housing allowance as part of the GI Bill, and it's going to be based on Stanford zip code. So if you're interested, you can head over to the VA website. Our zip code is 94305, and you can check out what your benefit level will be with that BAH housing stipend.
Great. And then one question here, actually, there's a couple questions along
Sure.
this theme. So need-based financial aid, can you talk a little bit more about like, what are a couple of the elements on there? And then is
Sure.
it based only on those or like, what happens if there's something in my life that isn't
Sure.
captured there?
Yeah, so the initial application is going to ask you for several years of income as well as your assets. And when we talk about assets, we are looking at liquid and illiquid assets. And then we always leave, we want to take a holistic approach to your financial aid package. And so we're opening it up to, if you have circumstances that you think impedes your ability to pay for your education, we definitely want to hear about those in your application. So we have an opportunity for you to explain, and if for some reason you have extenuating medical expenses or possibly are supporting your family, we want to know about those. So there's an opportunity for you to explain situations outside of what we're asking for.
All right. So thank you again, Elizabeth,
Yeah,
for jumping on and helping. That was a lot of
definitely.
really helpful, meaty information.
It's a
And once
lot.
again, for those who have been asking questions, thank you for your engagement. If you didn't get your questions answered live today, we're going to continue answering some of them over the course in the Q&A box as to the best of our abilities. Also, feel free to jump on our website. I keep referring folks back to that.
Yes.
It's going to be one of your best resources. Continue asking us questions there. We are here to support you along this process.